Hello and welcome back to the Road to Good Cooking. We all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and when you enjoy it while reading God's words, it tastes even better. And when the breakfast is good, you might want to have it for dinner as well. This Southwest egg recipe was shared with me years ago by Rubbermaid, a sister friend from my old church. She made this recipe in a casserole dish and cut it into squares. I'm going to use the same ingredients and I will be cooking my Southwest eggs sous vide style. This recipe is delicious made both ways. Now let me show you how I made it. For this recipe I'll be using 10 large eggs and 1 can of green chilies. The original recipe called for 2 cans. I'm only going to use 1, and not pictured in this with all my ingredients is cottage cheese. I'll be using all-purpose flour, baking powder, and kosher salt. 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese and 8 ounces of pepper jack cheese. And I'll be using some melted butter. I cranked up my stand mixer to high and I'm using my wire whisk attachment to whip up my eggs. Now this is going to incorporate a ton of air into my eggs, and that's going to make them light and fluffy and foamy here, as you can see here in the video, and they're also going to have a nice smooth texture to them. I'm going to carefully start adding my ingredients. Flour is going in. Now the melted butter, I'm going to slowly pour that in. And once I get this all incorporated, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to fold in the rest of the ingredients. All of my ingredients have been folded into the eggs, and here I have 7 8-ounce mason jars that I sprayed inside with vegetable oil and 1 16-ounce jar. Now it's time to start filling them up. I started scooping out the egg mixture and scooping it into the jar, and that was quite messy. So what I ended up doing is pouring it into this measuring cup here. That way I can just pour it into the jar instead of scooping it. I'm going to fill my jars to the second rim of the jar, and that way that'll leave some room in case they rise a little bit during the sous vide process. All of my jars are filled, and now I'm going to put the lids on, and I'm going to put them on finger tight. You don't want them on super tight, just finger tight, and tight enough so the water won't leak through when you put them in the sous vide bath, because they will be submerged in the water. Yeah, all of my jars are ready to go, and I'm preheating my sous vide cooker to 165 degrees. Only got a few more degrees to go. Then I'll start loading it up. My sous vide cooker is up to the temperature of 165 degrees. Now I'm carefully lowering in the jar into the water bath. They will remain in the water bath for 1 hour. At the end of 1 hour, I will take a jar out to temp it to see if where the temperature is. The internal temperature that I'm trying to reach would be 155 degrees. And I will test it in an hour and see where we are temperature-wise. Okay, everybody is in the hot tub, resting comfortably, completely submerged under the water, except for this one. Now, I'm not going to worry about it because it's far enough into the water where at least the eggs will cook. Now, I guess there must be air in the jar, which is why it is floating like so. But I'm not going to worry about it. The current temperature is 164 degrees, and I have 50 minutes to go before the end of the cook. After the first hour, I took a jar out so I can temp it, and as you can see, it's not quite set on the top. It does feel firm on the bottom, so I'm going to put it back in the sous vide water bath for another 30 minutes. And here's the temperature after 30 minutes. I took all of the jars out of the water bath, and I'm going to let them rest on the wire rack until they cool, and after they cool off, I'll put them in the fridge for storage. They look good, don't they? I tasted one and ooh, my goodness, it is cheesy and delicious. And here's the finished product. I removed it from the jar, cut it in 3 pieces, garnished it with some green onions, and it is absolutely delicious. I tell you what, the first thing that you will taste would be the creaminess from that cottage cheese. The eggs are light and fluffy. Then you get the tanginess from the sharp cheddar, and then the little bit of spicy heat from that pepper jack, and it is off the charts good. Now, if you don't have all the sous vide equipment, just take that same mix, pour it into a baking pan, and bake it. And cut it into squares and serve it just like this. This recipe will not disappoint. You gotta give it a try. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as always, please leave me a comment if you wish. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video, and share my link with everyone you know in the universe. If you're interested in any of the equipment that I've used in this video, all the links are in the description box below. I also have an Amazon.com shop. Don't forget to stop by there and check out all the other equipment that I used in previous videos. Be blessed and keep on cooking.